I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to bask in the awesomeness of my new 34-inch ultra-wide screen. This is going to be bone-inducing for me. A long journey, but I deserve it. You know what? I'm going to let you guys watch. Bet you don't hear that very often. Yeah. Okay then guys, we're back, and as you can see, we've got the other RGB strip working. I changed out the cable that went into it because this is the cable here in question, but this end actually it got pinched by the front panel that goes onto the front here. Because if you look down where the actual cords are sitting, like down in this little gully here, I suppose you could say, you've actually got the holes where where it all pops in, and it just got kind of pinched and jammed in at a real funny angle, which it bent it a little bit actually. So I'm thinking that was the reason why. I might try and get a longer one, see if I can blag one from NZXT, because this one's, you get a number of them, but this is one of the shorter ones and I can't find the other ones at the minute. So I might get a longer one. I might get another RGB strip as well, just to go across the top here, but you know, at the minute we're pretty much done, I'd say. We're not far off, at least, until we get to like the final peel. There is a couple of other things I need to do. One of them was the FireCuda hard drive that I've got tucked down here, just behind this bit. It wasn't showing up as a drive that could be used, and I was sat there for like 5 minutes, and I tried to, I looked around, and it was just, and it dawned upon me, I haven't formatted the bloody drive yet, so that's why I couldn't use it. So that's what this is doing now, is formatting the drive. It's been going for about 10 minutes, but there's still a ways to go as of yet. But like I said, yeah, I think we're not far off being done, really. I've got rid of all the niggles, got the cam software, got most of the software that I need, to control the lighting and so on and so forth, because I need 3 separate apps to control the lighting. I need cam software, I need the Asus Aura software, which can control the RAM as well, and I also need the MSI Mystic Light for the graphics card. So yeah, not a simple task changing it. I think I might just leave it like this, or I might just start working on some custom profiles to go on each of them, so I can do them on the fly and so on and so forth. But yeah, the next little bit we might be seeing is me bringing my new monitor up, because we're not going to be using this monitor, of course. We've got a new monitor, and figuring out how I'm going to get this in there. But I'll say one thing about this: this case is taller than my existing one, but it's also narrow, which is good, because I've got plenty of space up and down, ceiling up there, but back and forth is going to be a little bit of a task, because that's a 27-inch monitor. This new one's a 34-inch monitor, so finding and making sure I've got the space is going to be a big thing. I might get an arm for it, one of those the arms that are like mounted arm things that you can clip on there. I've seen a nice one that will fit my monitor, because it is like I said, it's the P34 something or other. It's the curved 34-inch G.Sync monitor, 3440 by 1440 ultra wide thing. I don't know. So yeah, so I've just got to figure out spacing now, and then I think that might be the end of phase 1. There might be a couple of other things I get for this. So this series isn't just finished yet. There's a couple of other things I might grab for this, just to not so much aid performance, but just to maybe give us a little bit of extra storage, and also add a little bit of the old pièce de résistance, as the French like to say. Also we've got to overclock the CPU. We're going to put a mild overclock on that. My first venture into overclocking, so that should be fun. And also, I've got to get the RAM to its rated speed, because at the minute it's only running at 2100 megahertz, and it's rated for 3200. So I want to get that to at least 32, maybe even overclock it and get it on to maybe 33, 34. I don't even know if 33 is possible. I don't know if it goes in increments, but I want to get it to its rated speed at the very least, because that will give us a hell of a lot more performance. Yeah, like I said, we're all good really. There are a few mysteries that I haven't quite figured out, like why when I originally started it, I had to unplug the mini USB from the pump. But while I didn't do anything, I didn't download cam software or anything like that, didn't even have Windows installed, when I plugged that back in, this started running again perfectly, and everything works fine. Temps are good, it's not really having to push itself at the moment, and that's quite surprising because it is absolutely sweltering in my room right now. So I'm very, very happy with it. It's so quiet that I don't even know if you can hear it, but it's so quiet, which is absolutely awesome as well. So yeah, this isn't the last segment. There are a few other bits. We're going to go through the overclocking, we're going to go through the other little bits and bobs that I buy and check them out. But yeah, that's it for this segment. All systems go, and we'll be back in a moment. Okay then guys, we're back, and as you can see, I've got everything hooked up and it's where it needs to be. And yeah, now normally I would say, well, I think we're about ready for the final peel. However, I was keeping the tempered glass in the box that the case itself came in, because obviously I was going to be working and trying to get everything sorted out. I didn't have to keep taking the glass off and putting it back on again. It didn't make sense to. So I put it in the box, and the box, as you remember, it was under the desk there. Apologies about the wiring, I've got to sort that out. And what you don't know is, during this whole saga, every chance they got, the two cats, Missy, and more importantly, the little shit Loki, would get in there. So when I came to finally take the tempered glass out of the box to place onto the case and finish this whole thing off to an extent, there's still a couple of little bits and bobs that I'm going to add on at the end of this segment, but I went to pull it out and there's basically just the bottom corner attached, like literally maybe an inch worth of it. So them jumping in and out of it, they've obviously caught it with a paw or a claw or whatever, and basically they've peeled. They've cheated me out of a final peel. The little shits. So there is going to be no final peel. I'm really annoyed. You know, what can I do besides skin the pair of them and fashion a pair of slippers out of the hides? Do cats have hides? I don't know. I suppose I'll find out, I guess. No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so there's no final peel, unfortunately. Here's the monitor. Bit tricky to get everything sorted out, but it's all plugged in, it's all ready to go. So yeah, but like I said, we're in the home stretch. There's only a couple of things, a couple of little cherries on top that I need to sort out with this thing. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's build accomplished, and this is what I'll be. Move back and give you a better view. This is how my workstation works now. So you got, this is how it worked. This is how it looked before. And this is how it looks now. So polar opposites, hell of a lot more power. It should make the whole editing thing a hell of a lot easier. Obviously there's more real estate space there, so I can be editing one thing there and one thing there and so on and so forth. But more importantly, because this thing has a hell of a lot more power than my old system, it will chew through renders a lot quicker. Like say 1080p 60 fps 20-minute video on my old one would take 2 hours. I'm expecting on this thing to take 30 minutes, if that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I might do a test render. I need to still get a few bits and bobs sorted on there. But yeah, like I said, I think we're pretty much done. The other little bits and bobs, they'll be coming very shortly, and we'll see them before we round out this series. And I'll also be going through some overclocking. But in terms of the actual process of building the PC, we're done. I might sort out some custom profiles and have you guys comment on them, like with regards to the lighting and so on. I've got a few ideas for some, but yeah, I think we're done. So I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to bask in the awesomeness of my new 34-inch ultra wide screen. This is going to be bone inducing for me. A long journey, but I deserve it. You know what? I'm gonna let you guys watch. Bet you don't hear that very often. Yeah. So there goes the system. And the picture. Any time now. Any time now. Or not. Okay, maybe I've done something or haven't done something. Let's investigate, shall we? Wait a minute. Something happened. Let's see. Display port, no signal. Why isn't there any signal to the display port? There should be. It's plugged into the display port. Okay then, well, I'm going to go and investigate because, oh God, it wouldn't be my build unless there was more problems to deal with, would there? Yep, so I'm going to figure out what the problem is, basically. And I'll be back in a second. God damn it never ends, does it? Okay then, guys, we're back. And it's been about a week since the last segment. And in that week, everything has been working fine. It's been working perfectly. And in my mind, the next segment wouldn't have been this. It would have been me putting the finishing touches to this build. There's a couple of other things I want to do to put the finishing, you know, the cherry on top, was, you know, so to speak. And so it's a Monday now. And Monday nights, as some of you may realise, is the nights I record the WSRC touring cars in Project Cars 2. So, to explain the story, I'm going to run through what happened. So, basically, about an hour and a half before the actual race, I realised that I hadn't got the replay from the previous race, hadn't recorded it. So I thought, okay, I'll quickly do that. So I hit record, as you do. I've done numerous recordings on this PC over the last week, and I've done numerous rendering and so on and so forth. It's been working perfectly fine, no hiccups, no problems at all. And I hit record and it's recording, and so I'll leave it because it's like a 40-minute video that I've got to record, so I haven't really got anything to do in that. I don't need to be here for that, so I quickly, you know, I took a stroll to the shops to get myself something to drink for tonight for the race. Yeah, so got to the end of the actual recording on the game, the in-game recording. For some reason, it cut the final 5 minutes of the race off, which again, that annoyed me. That was one of the things that annoyed me. And then, so I clicked, you know, end recording on this, and left it to it. Went to the toilet, came back. The screen was blank. The PC was still on, but the screen was blank. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just, you know, gone into hibernation or slept or something like that. So I just flicked the mouse. Nothing. And again, like I said, everything was lit up on there. It was still running. Then I clicked the mouse, which normally, you know, brings something out of sleep or hibernation or whatever you want to call it. Still nothing. And then I'm kind of at a loss. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just crashed. So I was kind of resigned at that point to the fact that I probably lost the Bathurst recording. Because I'm not sure how long. I'm not sure if it was still processing the video that I recorded, and if it was processing the video I recorded, did it finish off before it crashed, or had it crashed during the thingy-bob or whatever? So I left it 5 minutes to see if it did anything. It didn't. I came back. I turned it off at the power supply because the button on the top was completely unresponsive. And then I flicked the power supply back on. Clicked the button on top, it turned on, but still blank screen. And what's also odd about it is the fact that there was no lights on the keyboard or the mouse, and there was no picture on the monitor. You know, the little light down here was on, but there was no picture on the monitor. So I was at a complete loss. So there was no, it didn't boot to BIOS. My brother pointed out the Q code reader was just showing 8, not 08, just 8. And I looked through the actual the instruction manual for the motherboard, and nothing for 8. Not a dicky bird, not that I could see anyway. I did flick through it kind of quickly. So yeah, I was at a complete loss, and I was wary of the fact I had about 15 minutes before I was due to race as well. So I thought, you know what, whatever the problem is, I'm probably not going to get it fixed. All I need to do is record the race. So unplugged everything from that, took it out, got the other one out. Ignore that chair, that's going soon. It's all raggedy and shit. Got the old PC out from the other room, hooked it all up, turned it on, and then jumped into the race to record it. Cue the next problem, not computer related, game related, is I got into the lobby, got everything set up, started recording, did qualifying, qualified 5th, with zero practice I might add, qualified 5th for the Spa race, and then I clicked ready up when we were sitting in the pre-race lobby, and it just kicked me alone to the garage. Didn't put me on the starting grid. So, no Spa race. Which really annoys me, because it's like an episodic thing. If you miss one race in the middle, it's just going to seem weird to me. I've got really weird OCD like that. So, that again really annoyed me. Missing the picture-in-picture replay is one thing, but losing an entire round and not being able to participate really pissed me off. So I was going to sit down and watch the replay and record it, but I just thought, you know, I'm just fuck off. It's Monday. Monday's a piece of shit, and seemingly this one is one of the worst in recent memory, because my new very expensive PC has decided that it doesn't want to work anymore for whatever reason. I've not figured that out yet. I'll get into that in a second. And now I got booted out of the race. A race I was really looking forward to, because I'm a big fan of the Spa circuit, and we were doing it in V8 supercars, which I've never done before. And there was going to be inclement weather, which again would have been something interesting and fun to bring to you guys content-wise. So quit out of it, and I started then reading about what the Q code could mean, because, you know, like I said, a Q code 8 was shown on the motherboard, not 08, just 8 on the left hand side of the 2-digit readout. And my brother was looking and I was looking, and he said something about CPU under voltage. Could be a possibility. What that means, I have no idea. That to me, if the CPU is under voltage and the CPU is powered by this power supply, would mean a problem with the power supply. So yeah, that's not good if that is the problem. But if it was the power supply failing, surely everything would have failed, because it was still turning on. It was all lighting up. It was all running as it should. Well, apart from the fact that it wouldn't give me a picture. Then I read something about flashing the BIOS. Someone had a Q code 8 on their motherboard and they couldn't get a picture like me, and they basically plugged the USB into the back of it, which is that little one that's sticking out the top there. That's got the recent BIOS update on it, and yeah, so that's a possibility. I'm going to try that now to see if that works. I'm not quite sure of the procedure and how I go about that. I know there's 2 buttons: there's a clear CMOS, and I think there's a flash the BIOS button as well, but I'm not quite sure what the issue would have been. I'm not even sure why it would happen right now. It's been running fine for a week. It's been running perfectly. No problems, no issues, no crashes, no bugs. I'd spent all week, you know, from last Monday, well, from pretty much the reason there's not been many videos over the last few days since the Project Cars 2 Le Mans DLC videos is I've been trying to get this all set up and settled, you know, so getting all the settings set up, getting all the applications I need, you know, my recording and editing softwares, getting, like I said, the settings all how I want them, getting all the games I've got downloaded and installed, which is a pain in the arse because my internet is garbage at the minute, because there's something wrong with some of the wiring, they tell me, or there's something wrong on my end anyway, and we're waiting for someone to come out to it. But And then literally this afternoon, well not this afternoon, like late this morning, I finished installing the final game. I thought, okay, we're done. I've got a couple of finishing touches to make on the inside of the case, and that'll be fun. But as for the build and the functionality of it, we're done. We're finished. Everything's good to go. I've got my new monitor set up. We're golden. And then it just goes and does this. So, one thumb, never building a PC again. I'll buy my next one and probably say, oh, don't get discouraged by it. Look at this entire series and how many problems I've had and tell me you wouldn't get discouraged. Never building again. Bollocks. I'll pay extra just for less stress. This has been one of the most stressful experiences of my life, considering how much money I put into this thing. Money I really can't afford to put into something and not have it work properly. So yeah, never building a PC again, and now I've got another problem to kind of decode and figure out and try and get this thing working again. And if I can't do it, then I'm not going to fuck around with it. I'm just going to take it somewhere and say, make it work. Whatever you want, just make it work. So yeah, I'm going to go to work on that, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully good things. Next time on the Build from Hell, will we ever finish this damn build? I mean, seriously, it's gone on too long now. When I've run out of things to say in these weird little outros. And what finishing touches do I have in store? Tune in next time to find out.